Всем здравствуйте, меня зовут Илья Андрианов. Мое произведение в жанре фентези. Оно называется The Door to Golmer. Chapter 1. The Beginning. Alex is coming up to the Temple of South, looking for an artifact. A golem, who's protecting the temple, senses a presence lurking. He yields his battle hammer and uses his magnum attack to discharge a powerful blow onto Alex. The boy did not expect this and jumped away right before he could be hit. The golem then launched at Alex and... Okay, let's go down here for a second. You might be asking, what is even happening? Well, I will tell you. Let's start all from the beginning. Alex is a regular boy who goes to Jefferson High School in Vermont, USA. He has a single mother. His dad disappeared back when he was only 4 years old. He barely remembers him anymore. His previous years in school were not so great, but he's trying to change for the better with his first year in high school. Oh, finally! I didn't think I could make it to the end of the day. Let's head to the treehouse, Pete. So they went to the treehouse. It is right next to the garden that his grandma is taking care of. The treehouse has always been the perfect place to hang out and talk in. That is exactly where they spent the whole rest of the day. And the night. During the night, Alex was awakened. He thought it was his mom telling him to come back home to sleep in his bed. But when he opened his eyes, he saw a pile of rocks assembled into a human-like shape. It was pretty small and also had a little cute face. A bow was slightly tilted on its head. Alex shrieked, awakening Peter. No need to yell. I'm a northern rock golem. The name is Pebble. You are the last hope to save the world of golems. I think you got the wrong guy. I simply can't be the one to help you. I'm so confused. I understand your position, but the northern golems need you. But how? Let me explain. Your father was a major attribute to the Northern Army, but one-time tragedy stroke, and your father disappeared into thin air, and nobody heard of him ever again. Your father left you this key to Golmer. He left it for you in case of an emergency, and the emergency has happened. What if I don't want to go to Golmer? What if I don't want to disappear like my father? What if I don't want to leave my mother alone? Nobody ever asked me what I want. Well, I have nothing to do here anymore then. I guess we were wrong. Pebble started slowly walking away. Wait! Alex, are you going to let this kind of opportunity go to waste? This is such an adventure we could go on together, right? Yes, both of you can come. Her hope was rising. I don't know. What about school? My grades? My mom? Oh, don't you worry about that, Alex. I have a freezing gem. It works only on Earth. It can freeze time for as long as we're in Golmer. And what is your name, little lad? Pete. After some thinking, he proclaimed, I made my decision. Peter, we're going to Golmer. When are we leaving? Now. Golmer needs you. She inserted the key into the wall behind a poster and walked in. Chapter 2. Golmer. A dazzling light blinded them for a moment. They saw giant trees towering over the forest. They felt the air breeze on their faces. They could smell the freshness of the nature. Welcome to Golmer, everyone, she proclaimed as they all went through the doorway. We should go to the Temple of North. All three of them entered the Temple of North. They were welcomed with a loud roar and applause. Greetings, Alex, Peter. My magic golems told you were coming. The leader of the Northern Golems, Cliff, spoke. You too, come over here. I have a little present for y'all. The boys walked up to Cliff, who opened a little box, in which were 2 crystals, a green one and a blue one. Choose a crystal. Come on, don't be shy. Alex took the blue one, while Peter took the green crystal. The crystals are magical, you see. The blue one, Alex, gives you the ability to control water. It is effective against fire and iron golems. The green one, Peter, lends you the power of summoning your own earth golem minions. Wow, I cannot believe this. A small golem popped out of nowhere. It works! Alex, on the other hand, was struggling with understanding how the crystals really work. Cliff told him not to worry, however. Nobody mastered the crystal in one day, and that they should come tomorrow to practice the power of the crystals. Later that evening, the trio went to Pebble's house. I prepared food and beds for sheets of you guys when I left. I was really hoping you would come. Chapter 3. The First Challenge. The next day, the boys went off to practice. But after 4 hours of intense work, without any breaks, there was no use. There is no point of us doing this anymore. Maybe humans aren't even made for using crystals. Your father was the perfect fire crystal user. Better than most fire golems. You just need more practice. Just head on home. We'll pick up on this tomorrow. What a bummer. Yes, I'm disappointed in our lack of skill. Why did I even come here? Just a waste. Alex was cut off with a giant iron golem, pure iron, snagging them both and jumping away with them in their hand. Let go of us! But the iron giant just kept on jumping. After roughly 10 minutes, the boys were dropped off in front of a giant temple. It was similar to the northern one, but it was bigger, and it was built of what looks like to be magma and iron. Hello there, Alex. Who are you and why'd you take us? I am the great ruler of South, Magrum, a superior lava golem. You are both my prisoners now, just like your father once was. You cannot do this to us. Throw him into the prison chamber. I need to talk with Alex. So, I have a proposal. We can rule over the world, and not just this one, but all of Earth. You can transport the whole army from one world to the other, and I can demolish anything in the way with my golems. It's a perfect plan. No, I'm on the side of the northern golems. Tell me where my father is. Well, too bad we did not get along. You could have been a great addition to my army. Oh well. Gert, show our guest where the prison chamber is. Magrum snapped his fingers and walked away. A huge iron golem picked Alex up and walked to the prison chamber. Then, Gert tossed Alex into the same cell that Peter was located in. There was no way out. Alex and Peter got into an inescapable situation. Chapter 4. Trapped. We must get out of here. How are we supposed to do that? Alex looked around and thought of a genius plan. Peter, I have an idea. A moment later, a small golem popped out of the cell. He started walking towards the exit. The guard followed the golem to stop him from doing anything troublesome. Meanwhile, the boys just creased through the cell bars. The bars were wide enough due to the prison being made for thick golems and not thin humans. We must run. No, Magrum told me he saw my father. We must know something about that. After running around the temple, they spotted a stand with a book on it. A book! There must be something in there! They stood in front of the book together and started looking through the pages. Stop where you are, somebody said behind them. The boy slowly turned around and saw Magrum. Get him! Suddenly, with a loud thud, the roof broke down and something grabbed the boys. It was a giant hand made out of rocks and dirt. It was Cliff! He used his powers to save Alex and Peter. The boys were saved, and Peter was able to grab the page about Alex's father from the book. Chapter 5. Force of Darnet. The page states that Alex's father can be freed only after obtaining all 3 captivity gems. They were in the Forest of Darnet, Mount Flarian, and the Temple of South. After eating breakfast, the group heads out straight to the first adventure. A small water golem popped out of nowhere and spoke to the trio. Help! Global warming has affected my family at last. The habitat that my ancestors lived in for thousands of years is now fully dried out. We cannot survive for much longer without water. Please help us, brave adventurers. I have to do this, he said softly, feeling his crystal. But you can't control your water powers yet. It's too dangerous. It's the only way. The golem's name was Aquarta. She showed them where the lake was. Here they are, the golems that I so deeply care about. I cannot stand the sight of this, she said, wiping a tear off from her eye. Please help us. We'll be glad to help you back at any time. Just please, save us. I will try my best. Alex shut his eyes and concentrated. The boy stood there, all the people looking at him with hope. But nothing happened. Do not worry, my boy. You tried your best. Alex was determined. He kept standing there, trying his best to unleash at least a drop of water. Suddenly, all the golems started humming a beautiful tune. A stream of blue light resembling a running river flowed right into Alex. A moment later, the light disappeared, and all the golems dropped on the ground, practically lifeless. A few seconds passed, and then another few. Abruptly, Alex opened his eyes. They were glowing bright blue. A huge stream of water flowed out of his hands, filling up the lake in mere seconds. Thank you so much. Turns out, Aquarta was the leader of the water golems. I'll owe you all big time, especially you, Alex. We will always fight on your side. Also, you now have the power of the water crystals in your hands. Thank you. We should also put some trees and leaves over the lake, just so the drought will not happen again. Global warming is a huge threat, and not just here, but also on Earth, where I am from. The rest of the day, the golems and the group were making shade for the lake, talking about their adventure and their goal of acquiring the gem of Darna. Aquarta was glad to help, so she gave them the directions of finding the gem. The gem was soon retrieved by the trio without any obstacles. Next destination, Mount Flergen. Chapter 6. Mount Flergen. Mount Flergen was huge. The trio started hiking up the steep mountain. About an hour has passed, and the group faced an enormous fire golem. The golem did not like trespassers, so he unleashed a fire blast without even asking who they were. Nearly avoiding the attack, Alex beamed the golem with water, making it fall off the mountain. Damn, that was brutal! He was amazed. I just wanted to neutralize him. You did it purely of self-defense. Do not worry. So they kept going for another hour. Suddenly, they were stopped by a mob of fire golems. The golems all started angrily growling, and one yelled, "You killed our leader! Get him!" The huge horde jumped onto the trio, almost trampling them. Alex couldn't single-handedly stop the attacks, so they started running. The golems easily caught up though, unleashing a fire blast after another one. Peter knew exactly what he had to do. He stopped and concentrated. After a quick second, an enormous earth giant appeared out of thin air, who rapidly made a huge wall coming up from the ground of the mountain. The fire golems were quickly stopped. Peter, you used your power! All I had to do was just concentrate. With both boys now capable of using their powers, the rest of the hike was a breeze. The gem was retrieved with no issues at all. The next gem was the last one, but still by far the hardest to get. Last destination, Temple of South. Chapter 7. Temple of South. The Temple of South was standing in front of the group in all of its glory. The group split up and decided to look for the gem. Peter and Pebble went to the left, Alex went to the right. Looking for an artifact, a golem who's protecting the temple senses a presence lurking. He yields his battle hammer and uses his magma attack to discharge a powerful blow into Alex. The boy did not expect this and jumped away right before he could be hit. The golem then launched at Alex and the creature was thrown back by Alex's attack. That golem was Magrum. He stood up and jumped at Alex. He had no hope for survival. Suddenly, Magrum stopped, then fell over. Peter was behind him. He used his crystal to save Alex. Oh, thanks, man. No time for talk. We must save your father. The group ran up to the middle of the temple and found the last crystal. There they were, also 3 pillars, in which Alex put the crystals in. Suddenly the crystal disappeared, and a man appeared in the middle. Dad? Alex ran over to the man. Alex? It was him, Alex's father. After time of catching Alex's father up on current events, they head back to Earth. Pebble stayed in Golmer though. The boys really appreciated her and said their goodbyes. At home, Alex's mother was ecstatic to see her husband. Alex was happy with a full family, and Peter was pleased by himself that he helped his best friend. Everybody will always remember their adventure and keep their friends close to their hearts. Спасибо большое, что вы выслушали. Надеюсь, вам понравилось мое произведение. До свидания.